Welcome, everyone, to this new episode 3 of the Gentleman Gains podcast. I am Andrew, and here are your co-hosts. Go ahead, boys.
I'm saying.
Jakub.
Correct.
Yes, sir. We got us all together this time.
Yeah.
Special
Boys are back
episode.
in
Four of
town.
us.
Yeah.
Yep. And our topic today is all about the girls in the gym. So
Yeah.
what are we talking about, boys?
Who's starting?
Well, I think Jakob's got some points written down.
Yeah.
And then I think we can just kind of go off of that. But
Yeah. So I
I
got
don't know if you got anything to
Put our
start
own
off with.
input.
so I got like notes written down for this, and I'll split them up a bit so that I'm not sitting here ranting, and then that way you guys can also
Yeah.
reflect on them if you want. So
Mhm.
I was gonna say, so like my first points I had to do with religion. So first and foremost, as everyone knows, if you've seen the previous episodes, I'm Muslim. So when it comes to females in the gym, I kind of look for male-only gyms, but granted they're kind of hard to find in these areas. What are you laughing at, bro?
Dude.
This man just made fun of the whole religion. He's gonna get us canceled.
My niece in the background, like making faces at me, so I'm kind of distracted.
Okay. No, you're
Oh,
good.
yeah.
You're good. You're good.
We just see him pull up the right hook.
Yeah. Yeah. So
He just
I
gets
I tend to only look for male-only gyms, but you know they're kind of harder to find in the West. So
Yeah, of course.
'Cause-
Like, it's gonna be a wholly different situation for you.
yeah, because like being Muslim, we're not supposed to be in contact with the opposite gender unless it's like certain family members or our wives. So as a result, I try my best in all scenarios that I can personally control to not be with the opposite gender. But like obviously there's times we can't control that, like if it pertains to work or, you know, public places. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
yeah, and then the second like point I had on that topic was like having self-respect and like good qualities and etiquette if you do find yourself navigating the opposite gender. So or just in general, like having standards over yourself, like self-respect. And then from a religion standpoint, like I base my stuff off religion because that's always at the forefront of my mind, being a Muslim, because that's what I put above everything else. So these are things I
Yeah,
think about
absolutely.
going into any situation. So I'd say having good character is a form of da'wah, and what da'wah means in an Islamic standpoint is like calling people to Islam. But I use that as an example because I'll use our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for an example, and he was like the best of all Muslims, and every Muslim tries their best to replicate him in our capacity. We could never replicate him, but like within our capacity we try to, because he had the best character, and people would see those qualities and they would revert to Islam based off having like seen him and having those qualities. Like they would know nothing about Islam, but they would turn to Islam just based off like the qualities and character he had. So always having those like standards over yourself in any situation, like self-respect and such. And then
Mhm.
like even without opening your mouth, the presence and qualities you have, like that you hold yourself up to, really show, like whether that be body language or appearance. And then that as well, how we even interact with people before having conversations, and then whilst actually having those conversations. And then people will notice that body language and respect beforehand, and then of course those qualities as well when you do have those conversations. So it's about like having both of that, like always having those standards for yourself.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like-
much.
Controlling your gaze, right? Controlling your eyes.
Yeah,
and
I'll
body
get-
language.
I'll get more into that. That's more so like I'd say modesty factor, but lowering your gaze would definitely be a huge one.
Yep.
It's like all about respecting, self-respect, and obviously respecting the opposite gender as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think in any regard, while you're at the gym, like whether you're talking to a female person or a male,
Yep.
like any person, whether they're staff working out or whatever, like holding yourself to a high level of accountability and regard is always the best way to go about things, regardless of who you're speaking to.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, I only use religion because obviously, again, it's the forefront of everything, but it should be in any scenario whatsoever, like, to anybody.
Yeah, like regardless of any creed or religion, like if you can't have those basic principles down, then you're failing at some point in your life, regardless of whoever else you might be as a person, right?
Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing really much to add. Like you guys like said everything that we were going to say.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, like in regards to, let's talk about approaching females at the gym.
Yeah.
I think it's totally context dependent. For example, like at least I'll use my experience because I work at Planet Fitness and I also go to another gym. Planet Fitness, you have way more people circulating throughout the day, so you're not as familiar with everybody right off the bat. So to approach somebody there that you might find attractive or you think is like hardworking or whatever the reason might be that you approach somebody is going to be a little bit different than if I were to be at my other gym, which is closer knit, less people, right? You're there at the same times, and there might only be 2 or 3 of you in the gym, right? So you're generally talking to each other when you enter or when you leave or even during the workout, right? So that's going to have a different dynamic than if you were to, like, again, it depends on that context, right? In the context of, like, you know, if you're not in a tightly formed relationship or friendship because you're unable to have that at the gym that you go to, like if you're going to these public gyms like Crunch, Planet Fitness, Fit for Less, etc., then the easiest way to start approaching somebody is to just start like you would any friendship. Just simply like saying hi, saying bye, you know, simple things like that. And as you develop, you know, you can be like, oh, hey, how was your training session going today? This, that, you know?
Basically building
I think, just build it simply. I think that's the best way to do it, especially when you're in those contexts of a bigger social environment. I think doing that, if they have headphones on, that's always something a little bit different. And I think that's something we'll have to touch on as well. But, you know, I think the best points are probably before a workout starts and when it ends. So if you're there roughly at the same time, even if she sees you enter, you know, or even if it's a guy that you're looking to make friends with or whatever, you know, maybe you're looking for a new training partner, just like a quick like, hey, how you doing? And moving on your way can make all the difference, right?
Yeah, I like how you touched on that too, like before or after, because like having that gym etiquette, like leaving people to concentrate on their workout and whatnot. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
In the context of a tighter knit gym, if you're going to a more private gym like I go to, you kind of know everybody, right? Because we do our like private powerlifting competitions and whatever, so you kind of get to know everybody a little easier. So for me to walk in and I see everybody, you know, I've been at that gym probably one of the longest members, and so I say hi to everybody, have a quick chat, so it's easy for me to further a relationship with somebody if I had the interest to, because it's already been established because of how close quarters everything already is off the bat, right?
Yeah, good points. I guess I could touch on what you said about like modesty when it comes to lowering gaze. So I'd say like the biggest one I'd say for me in regards to like lowering gaze, especially with females at the gym, is like a lot of times both men and females are very like revealing, and like lowering gaze is important because it shows respect, and it goes for both cases, male and female. So I'd say like it's a huge reason for modesty in Islam, why women cover up. Of course, like first and foremost, it's for like our Creator, and it's also to protect themselves from like that gaze as well. And again, it goes both ways. Male and female should be doing this. And that's how it all starts, from that gaze. Like, it's the gaze and the attraction sets in even when we can't help it. Like covering yourself up so nobody can see, for both men and women, because, for example, when we see females with hair out, or we see the shapes of their body, or we see skin, stuff like that, like, a lot of times we don't have control over that, and, you know, we may feel naturally drawn to somebody or attracted to somebody, and us as people, we don't pick who or when, or, like, you know, when we feel these things, or who we are drawn to. So it just happens, and like a lot of it has to do with the modesty and how people present themselves. So that's why I say, like, people should have these like standards for themselves, and a lot of it has to do with, like, you know, protecting yourself and just respect. And then yeah, that's why it's, again, like, touching on how we can't even touch the opposite gender in Islam unless it's like our significant other, and like that alone, like, isn't it so special? You can like only let your significant other see those things, and because you're protecting it from everybody else. So it's a thing of like respect as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that does just touch on a good point too of how people present themselves at the gym.
Yeah.
It's funny because you would think it would be an indicator of how maybe social they may or may not want to be, or how much attention they want to receive. But oftentimes it's funny, it's almost inverted at the gym.
Yeah.
Like, you'll find people who dress the most attention grabbing might oftentimes not want that attention in the first place.
Exactly.
It oftentimes is just for them, right? Whether you're a dude or a female,
Exactly.
right? Like, you know, you see the giant dudes with the V-string tank tops or whatever. Like, you know, that's usually just for them, right? Just like when a girl will wear, you know, maybe the shorter shorts or the or like the sports bras or something like that, right? So it's not always an indication of yes, I want to be approached. So I'd say typically it's better to have that modesty, and that's not the way you should go about things when approaching somebody.
Yeah, that's why, like, as you said too, like the way both male and females, like, once you have that gaze, once that gaze sets in, like, again, you can't really help those feelings if you do feel those feelings. And like you said too, a lot of people don't even want to be perceived that way, but it's like, how can you help it when you're perceiving it, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I have like two perspectives, like two views. First, I go to gym to work out, right? To get better for myself. So I try to not look at anyone or anyone like that. And especially like girls, they are on their headphones and everything. So they are there for workout as well, right? They are not there for finding a new boyfriend. My internet need be mad, right? Just when I started speaking, right?
You're good, bro. You're good. It's good.
No, you did get your point across though. So that was good. Yeah.
I try not to like talk with somebody or try not to look at them, right? Because for me, I'm there to work out. For them, I don't know whatever the reason is. But most of the time, they are there to get fit and everything, right? They don't want a boyfriend or girlfriend or anything like that. So I try to keep my attention on the workout instead of focusing on approaching someone. So that's me. And other trend was like that TikTok thing, when you try to talk to a girl or try even like glance at her and you are on TikTok on your video, like a weirdo, a creep. So I rather avoid that. I won't look, and I rather like not like to be approached as well. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, like goes back to my point of like lowering your gaze, which is like, it's a good thing. It's all about
me. I mean, you are following religion. I'm following like fear.
No, but like that's why I bring
I
it
don't want
up.
to be on TikTok.
That's why I bring it up though, because like it doesn't apply just to religion. I'm purely using religion just because like that's me.
Yeah.
But it applies to everybody.
It could be anything.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing though. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know, like, what they are. Like, they could either be there to actually work out, or they can just be there to be like
Attention
what Sam
grabber.
said, like an attention grabber. Like they just want to just
Yeah.
interact with everyone, like it's a high school gym or something.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a thing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, some go there to socialize. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's just annoying. Like, I mean, come on.
That's
Yeah.
I get it. I get you.
Yeah. It depends on what your goals
I mean,
are.
whatever works for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a whole
Like,
other topic on its own too, like people's intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people's intention, and then people's intentions on going to the gym in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, working at Planet Fitness, like the early morning crew is usually the ones that are there to work out. But I also find that they're there for the social aspect of a Planet Fitness style gym. Like, I personally know everybody from the 5 a.m. crew that isn't, not even that they're staff, that they're just members, rather well at this point, and they know what I do for work and everything like that. So it's kind of a cool dynamic that you can develop with your local gym members, but not everybody is there for that purpose, right?
Yeah.
Most people, I would say, are not using the gym for their social activity.
True.
So I think it pretty much goes without saying, like, I think we can all agree that the gym is not your personal Tinder profile. Like, I'd
If you
say
want to
that.
approach a girl, go
Yeah.
to the bar or a club.
Or after
you wanna-
the workout, you
Yeah.
know?
I don't.
No, it's another like good thing to touch
Yeah,
on
yeah.
because it like goes back to
Yeah.
body language and stuff too.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times too, you look at somebody and, like, especially in the gym, you could see like who's not approachable. And it's kind of like easy to see sometimes,
Yep.
like both male and female.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, like Karan said, like he just keeps his head to the floor, focuses on his workout. Stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I think most people that are serious about their workout do that.
Yeah.
I think it's headphones on, hoodie up,
Yeah.
whatever
Yep.
you do to get yourself mentally prepped for that, and moving on with the workout, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm definitely guilty of, at least at my one gym, like having a chit chat with somebody. But as we've established, like, that's a closer knit gym.
Yep.
So those kinds of things are more bound to happen.
Yeah.
But like, as long as you're still putting in that work, right?
Yep.
Hello. So, this is Jakob. As I'm editing this, I realized we forgot to add an outro to this episode. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know we appreciate you guys tuning in. It's always very fun for us to record these episodes. I also realized we didn't really give Sam a proper intro, so that's our other co-host, Samuel. Yeah, so it's just all four of us. It's pretty rare that we'd all be together at once just because we got pretty busy schedules. So you'll notice in the next episode we push out we're all wearing the same clothes because we decided we're just all going to record a long session and then split it up into a couple episodes. So it's partly why we didn't really record an outro for this as well, but we appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, it's very fun for us to do these, so we appreciate you guys listening to us. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.